Oh my gosh, I just noticed multiple things about this banner. Yeah, I have a new banner made by my man Reglant. Two things. One, I'm looking at the center. Is that adult Neptune? Like in a tiny corner. I'm looking at this at my 4K screen for the first time. My man, what's she doing there? But no. I like it. Because realistically speaking, adult Neptune actually Neptune should have a representation. I like the Plantum Basilicom. Another thing I'm noticing, there's a Homura swimsuit in like the right hand side. Okay, anyways, that was a massively impromptu start, but I literally had a reaction to this. Let's be a bit more professional. I asked my man Reglant if he could make a new banner because there were many characters that needed to be added, and I was delaying for a long time to the fact that he actually had to come and ask me, hey, do you want me to do the banner? So please give him props for this amazing banner, but I myself wanted to not only showcase it in a video, but also talk about why I put people on the banner, because it's a lot more than it used to be, and admittedly, some I was very reluctant to put them on the banner until I just had to admit to myself I have no choice but to do so. So, I think we can start off. What the heck I'm also noticing is that a different look for Naoto as well. In the top right hand. Okay, on that note, let's start off with Naoto. All right, let's start with the Persona series. I'll probably separate the video into timestamps, talking about each series or maybe each character. Haven't decided, but Naoto first. So I think with Naoto, I should mention, I have my 3 biases, if you didn't know. If a character uses water or ice, if they are blue themed, and if they wield swords, all right? The blue hair attracted me to Naoto at first, but I didn't even realize that Naoto was female. Well, at least until after the first episode where somebody gave a hint, but nevertheless, Naoto and I hate to say it because in Persona 5 I really liked Makoto. I would put Naoto over Makoto. I have to say that. Naoto and I, there's so many things that she has in common. When she was making those handheld items, well, not handmade, sorry. The watch, for example, Naoto has a great heart and showed when... Wait, actually, that's getting into spoiler territory, though. All right. I'm going to say some slight spoilers on Persona 4 Golden, since I did separate this into categories on each character. You can skip ahead if you want to, but when Naoto risked her life just to help us prove that the culprit wasn't captured yet, as well as trusting us to make sure that we would come and get her, and how Naoto has been on point every moment after that. Not to mention when Naoto finally removed her hat, and I got to saw that she's been nerfing herself all this time. Yeah, I had no choice. Naoto earned her spot on the banner. For me, best girl in Persona 4 Golden. Now let's move on to, let's go in order. Persona 5. I don't think I need to say much about FB, Futaba Sakura. Since I started the game, I had a heavy bias I was gonna like Futaba. Not to mention when I actually got to know her and found out she was hilarious and very adorable, and there were many moments that I related to Futaba on a personal level. Though it's important for me to mention Futaba's in the protect category. I have different qualifications or things that I look for in the protect category than in the waifu category, all right? And that's important to note, but not to mention Futaba's the actual pyramid area. It was great, and I still need to see how I feel like they might have, I don't know if they changed some things in Royal or not, but, well, I know that they did change things in Royal. I still have to get to there, but in Persona 5, Futaba Sakura was the best girl to me, even though she wasn't the one I went with. Like I said, protect category versus waifu category. If Naoto and Futaba were in the same game, let me not ask that. Let's just move on. Because this is one that I really wanted to talk about, Sophia. Now, many of you may not have played Persona 5 Strikers. If you hadn't, you probably have skipped this, actually, because I made it to where you can avoid spoilers. But in the odd chance that you have and you're watching this, I would highly recommend it. Sophia, and it took me a while to think about this, but I think out of all the characters on this banner, Sophia might have the kindest heart. And yeah, I'm including UZUBAE in that, though it's a very close competition, but basically just the utter purity of Sophia. And not to mention that she went through the trend that a lot of redhead characters go through. But you just look at her hair, it's red hearts. I was already so interested in the story of Persona 5 Strikers. We had the old team, they were going through emotional experiences as well. We got to dive more into their backstories, and Sophia was the icing on the cake. One of the other pure-hearted characters that I've met that instantly comes to mind was Penny from RWBY. And I guess it's not necessarily because they're technical, but there's a part of them that isn't human, and I guess by them not being human, they're trying to understand humanity in the best way possible, and they have nothing but the best intentions, and it's hard to get purer than that. For her purity, Sophia had to be put on the banner. For the fact that there were times in the game where I cried. Well, one time, but Sophia was the cause. That doesn't happen to me often. There's only one, arguably two characters on this banner who made me do that, but definitely one in particular, and you all should know which one that is. We're gonna go to her next. Bae. Still the undefeated champion, UZUBAE Tanoboshi. Do not get it twisted. I am adding more characters to the banner, but I actually had rearrange things because I was like, understand, I don't want characters haphazardly on here. I need UZUBAE to still have a prominent spot on this banner. I want to talk about UZUBAE again because even I was starting to think, why do I still feel this way about UZUBAE that I do? And you gotta remember, UZUBAE was not only a first for me. While I had known Neptune and Napier before, UZUBAE was the first character that I got to know on my channel for the first time. So kind of my YouTube channel in general is tied to UZUBAE.
Hey, if it isn't Nepsy. Yeah, sorry I haven't been by to visit in a while.
But also Kurome. I have played so many games and I have seen a lot of shocking plot twists. But it was not faked. It was...
Money, is it? It seems the greedy exist in any era.
Guys, hold up. No, hold up.
Money, is it? It seems the greedy
Oh,
exists
guys, I'm about to lose it. I'm about to lose it. No, it can't be.
I wish my mic quality was better, or at least I knew what I was doing more back then, because when I realized who Afi Mojas was spoken to on that fateful episode 26, I'll never forget that. I had put UZUBAE at the top, and I had confidently stated that. And then I hear her voice. I hear her talking about Era, and I'm like, it is literally my worst fear come true, which is my favorite character becoming the enemy. UZUBAE isn't just UZUBAE, she's also Kurome and Orange Heart. All three of them make UZUBAE Tanoboshi, and that experience is going to be very, very difficult to follow up. Of course, there's also UZUBAE's heart. Many of the things that are unique to UZUBAE I also happen to like as well, so the only thing that I think some other characters have an advantage on with UZUBAE is that they might wield a sword. If UZUBAE had wielded a sword, then well, I still can't say, I don't want to ever say no one can beat UZUBAE, but you can look at all the other choices to have on this banner. It gets very hard. However, let's talk about the final two that I have on this banner. Since I just spoke on UZUBAE, let me go to Homura. Now, I'm going to be 100% honest with you all. When I first started the crossover game between the Neptunia series and the Senran Kagura series, a big part of me, while I was interested in seeing Senran Kagura series, there was no doubt in my mind that this was as far as I was going to take it. I had no interest in diving deeper or any of that. Even when people were trying to say that the story is pretty good, I was like, okay, but again, if you're interested in playing these games, you're typically attracted for a particular reason. Flash forward to me seeing Homura and actually playing Homura and realizing that she has 3 sword style. Well, actually, it's more 6 sword style, 3 in each hand. I thought that was really cool. Let me go back to UZUBAE. What's UZUBAE's big thing, big deal? If you think stuff is cool. Again, it might seem like all talk, but this is why UZUBAE's base. Somehow, some way, shape, or form, I got a character when I first started my channel that emphasized a lot of the parts that represent me. And when I saw that Homura was cool, that really distracted me. As well as Homura seemed, on the appealing side. There was some aspects, alright, I won't admit, but it was mainly the cool. I was like, wow. And I remember reading a comment, people saying that the gameplay was a lot faster in the Senran Kagura series and that this game didn't really seem to do it justice. That was what first got me interested in actually trying the series. And I'm actually going to bring her into this too. I'm not done talking about Homura. Yumi. Homura's vibe at first it seemed kind of plain, and so did Asuka's. Yumi and Miyabi seemed more on the outlandish and more stand out, I guess. But Yumi in particular, Yumi was already hitting some button in me that was like, this is a problem. Something in me tells me Yumi might control water or ice. If she does, I don't know what's gonna happen. And lo and behold, after I was trying out Homura, and then the idea of actually trying the game was in my mind, then Yumi happened. And I'm not gonna lie, what Yumi did, unlike the coolness, I mean, yes, I was attracted to water or ice. No, you know what? Even with the coolness, because I have my 3 biases, the blue theme, water, ice, and wielding a sword. It's like Yumi seduced me. Not to mention, it's not just those 3 biases. Yumi also was talking about justice. If you remember my man Sherman, he honestly could have been on this banner, certain stuff hadn't happened, but I like people who genuinely do try to strive for justice. Of course, it's now a trend in especially Japanese media for those people to become corrupt, but the non-corrupt ones, alright? I think it's fair to say we all have multiple types. Yumi was slowly showing the cases of another one of my types, and that's actually why I have the S on Senpai in blue and the B in Blade in kind of a reddish orangish. Is because I'm realizing, it's not just blue themed characters. Clearly, I also have a bias towards redheads as well. That is clearly apparent. And their personality types that tend to go with redhead characters. But I also have a bias towards blue characters, and that's where Yumi comes in. So with both Homura and Yumi, even then, I still wasn't convinced. Because I wasn't sure if I wanted a game like Senran on my channel. I was always one who was trying to say games don't really need fan service, and I meant what I said. And was trying to keep my wits about me whenever that stuff happened. If you did see certain moments, like I think Harley or UZUBAE in the blue swimsuit, they were rare. But I felt like if I played the Senran games, I would be in that mode all the time, and I wasn't sure if I wanted to do that. And even then, when I started playing the Hanzo route of Senran Kagura Burst Renewal, I was thinking, okay, I'm playing it, it's cool, but nothing's really sticking me to the game until we get to the end and Homura says I'm actually a redhead as well. That wasn't it. She also pulled out her 7th sword an awesome long sword. Well, it's not a long sword. I think it's just a katana, but just a really big katana. No, actually, I don't think it's katana because it's straight. I've tried not to look at that scene as much as possible because that way my reactions still seem fresh. If I looked at it often enough, then I would probably dull the impact of it when it comes in the future. But the point is, Homura was even cooler than I thought she was. And then when I got to know Homura's team, I was like, actually, I do enjoy the story aspects. And more than that, Homura in her own route started to remind me of UZUBAE. Not completely, but a lot of the big appetite, attire that she would wear, of course her tomboyish attitude, and then the fact that she was actually looking out for her team, wanted them to have a good time, and when they were going to the resort, and the ending of the game where it was literally all about her saving them. There was an uncomfortable part of me that was realizing I started to genuinely like Homura's character as well as her gameplay. And then I realized something. You see, also with me and not diving into fan service, I also never actually looked up any images of the characters I like. Case in point, UZUBAE. I have never Googled any images of UZUBAE, ever. In fact, I go so far as that if I need a CG in one of the Neptunia games, I don't Google it. I always download the game if it's an old game, go back in the game, take the picture, and save it for myself. Nowadays, I just make sure I get all the pictures I need, but that's what I used to do. And that's because there's a weird thing about me, I guess, respecting the characters. I guess that's the best way to put it. Like when I'm recording, I try to put myself in the story. That's kind of my recording style. And I'm just gonna be honest. If I did look up stuff with some of the Neptunia cast, like for example, Verd or Plutia, I couldn't look at them the same way if I did. Which is the problem with Homura and then of course Yumi, is that I don't have to look up a daggum thing. In the game itself, it encourages you. It does everything to say, hey, let go. There's no need to have these restrictions in the same way that when I was playing Nier Automata, which actually I have considered putting 2B on the banner as well, but I feel like these characters have a much bigger impact, but still. There's like a part of me that locks myself down whenever I see those instances. 2B was one of them where it's like the whole game is like, just indulge yourself. And that's the same thing that is happening when it comes to Homura and Yumi, of course other characters as well. But long story short, Homura's like an UZUBAE that I don't have to have that restriction with. And that's what makes Homura so dangerous, because I can do stuff with her that I never would do with UZUBAE, because in the Senran game it's like, no, it's normal. In fact, if you do the stuff that Homura would do, there are characters that beg for a lot more. And the same with Yumi, but what makes this rough is that I genuinely do like their characters. So the whole reason I'm trying to get to, the whole point is that I'm not putting them up there just because of that I'm really attracted to the characters. All right, that's not the point. The point is I like their characters. Naoto is also one who, well, Naoto's a detective, trying to catch the case, catch the bad guy. That sense of justice, although, all the cast in Persona 4 Golden had that vibe, but, Naoto was literally a detective before that point. I like that style. Yumi has that in common. I also like leader-type characters. That's why I like the CPUs, how they lead their nation, and Homura and Yumi are both leaders. And then, of course, there is their actual fighting style. Most of the other characters I have on here are RPG-based, or, they have been RPG-based games. Sophia, you got to fight with, and I did get to fight with UZUBAE in Mega Tag Mention, but... So the point is, Homura and Yumi, they were born to be fought with, and using their actual battle styles it's genuinely fun. And after seeing Yumi's growth, both in the paralogue and actually the game itself, I had to just admit to myself, I like these two too much to not put them on the banner. A big part of me did not want to be associated with Senran, but because I like the two of them and other characters as well, I'm gonna play the rest of the games. So my channel would be, it might end up being that I played as many games as I did with the Neptunian series. I haven't actually done the count, but we're in it for the long haul. So that is why I had to add Homura and Yumi to the banner as well. So this video might have been going on longer than I planned to, but I just wanted to have one big video just to show and summarize why I like these characters and why they're put on the banner. That doesn't mean that, you know, there are other characters that I don't like that aren't on the banner. For example, like Neptune herself. Although again, you do have adult Neptune there. Did not realize that at first. Or characters like 2B. I was also just trying to go for a theme of red and blue. So with that being said, I am done. Videos should start back up pretty soon after this. If you have any thoughts, as always, please post them down in the comments below. Thanks again to my man Reg for doing this, because this looks amazing. And I will see you all next time.